Next up, we have Release the Hounds Road Trip EP by FWLR and JELO. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I am a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that, you're watching this on the video archive, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, and since we just got monetized, consider dropping one of the memberships, paid memberships. There are some features that might be coming out for the future. We're still figuring those out, but they might happen. Two things to note, though. One, this is my first time hearing this song, ever, so I will be pausing a lot, as I will be pointing things out as I hear them. And number two, this is recorded live on stream in a single take, which means I might stumble up on my words here and there. I don't know. What might happen right now, as of this stream, I messed up my left shoulder, so the pain distracts me a little bit here and there. I forgot to take painkillers. There you go. So, there you go. We're doing this with extra pain today. So, let's do this. Let's see what you got. Release the Hounds. What you got? Let's go. Okay, so we have three major elements going on for this start. We started with a little bit of like a percussion going on. Then we have the kick drum giving us a very nice steady beat. And then off in the background, we have a very subtle, very, very subtle synth giving us this arpeggio of a chord. An arpeggio is just a chord played one note at a time, and it's giving us what could be our motif. The motif, of course, being the smallest version of our musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from. So we are doing this, we're establishing some repetition, we are really making this very nice and smooth for the listener, because again, when it comes to music, there is a very delicate balance to be had between keeping the listener with familiar content and providing new material to the listener. There's a very, very, very delicate balance to give there. So an intro like this is a very good idea, especially if you're going to be adding a bunch of other stuff. So let's see what we got next. And we also have another synth there getting slight louder and louder. Ooh. Okay, so now we have a couple of course, we have that percussion again, giving us that transitionary thing. It's very, very common for musicians to use this type of big drum, big cymbal moment when it comes to transitioning. It gives you, in the form of the audio waves, when it comes to your audio software, it gives you a very nice and vertical point that looks like a cut. So it makes it easier to visualize your transition. So, you know, the sound waves might look kind of like an arrow of, yeah, this is the point where we're changing stuff around. So we have that, then we change over some of the synths that we have, and we are having these I guess other synths. We're using several synths at this point, several layers, and they are slowly being filtered into. And this is something I love about electronic music. Like, electronic music has this as an advantage. I don't actively listen to too much electronic music, but it's a very, very electronic thing where you can equalize your track away and kind of filtering. So equalization or EQ for short is when you take certain frequencies and in a sound sample or in a recording, something like that, and you manipulate specific frequencies. When it comes to sound, in general, us as human beings, we have a hearing range of anywhere between 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. That is a hertz. That's just the frequency of the sound wave. I'm not entirely sure. I don't fully remember what hertz is. I think it's the number of vibrations in a certain amount of time. And basically, we have a hearing range, ideal hearing range of up to 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. As you grow older, this range will go away bit by bit. Like, most people will have a hearing range of about 30 or 40 hertz to down to up to like around 18 or 19,000 hertz, right? So we have, I think frequencies per second or per millisecond, something like that. And in these cases, when it comes to equalization, you take that, because even though not all the frequencies are present in every sound wave, you can still manipulate them to kind of sound more like that. So when it comes to an equalizer, you take frequencies wherever you want within this range, and you can manipulate them. So what many artists do is that they will turn down a lot of them and then slowly turn them on and higher and higher and higher, and it gives us this really cool illusion of the synth or the sound, like we were hearing just now, fading in more and more, even though the volume itself isn't changing too much. It's just certain frequencies are not, that were previously being obfuscated, now are being highlighted. So we are having this really, really cool effect going on of everything kind of fading in. True Super Ninja, welcome today. How you doing? So yeah, let's see. So yeah, you can hear those frequencies now. And we do one of them good old drops, and we are encountering my first colloquial term. When it comes to colloquial terms, a colloquial term is just a term that I'm using. It's not an official academic term, or I am refusing to use the official academic term, and it's just a term I'm using for the purposes of illustrating my point. In this case, when it comes to transitions in music, one of the best things you can do is what just happened here. I call this going off the ramp. Because if you want to make your listener feel suspended up in the air right before you do a drop or something like that, you take away the drums. Take away the drums, maybe the bass as well, just the lower end, take that off, and now you feel the inertia going in, and you land with your drop. So that's precisely what has happened here. Let's see what happens in the drop. This is so... Okay, this is so surprisingly simple. Go ahead, valid user. This is so surprisingly simple. We are using the concept in music of less is more. We went to just taking that drum beat that we had, that kick drum that we had earlier, the bass drum that we had earlier. We just turned up its volume, and we are using a synth going at that same beat, and in between the beats, we are using very, very few samples in between. They do resemble the original motif that we had at the beginning. So in that sense, it looks like we're pretty good in that sense. The motif seems to be pretty much used again. So I like it. It's very simple, very nice. Like it just lets me enjoy all the sounds that are happening at the same time. Oh yeah, and the snare is doing the thing as well, yeah. This is so... it's so straightforward, dude. And there you go, another going off the ramp. We are doing another variation of that motif, and it's just so strong. This is so well produced, man. This is so well produced. This is really, really good. This is catchy. Now we bring that motif, and we're doing that same thing, but now we're doing something different. Instead of equalizing, we are going from staccato to legato. Majestic Striker, welcome today. How you doing? So when it comes to music, what this one was doing was called staccato. Staccato is when you play something in short bursts, which is what that motif was doing. Ta 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 ta. That is staccato. Short bursts, usually muted in some sort of way so that it feels more like you're hopping around. And then the opposite of that is legato. Legato is you are letting those notes flow one after the other in their entirety. And that is precisely what is happening right now. The first introduction of this motif when we entered this new section was in staccato, and now as a transitionary force, as a way of building more tension, we're just doing more legato. Little Orange, welcome today, how you doing? Because once again, in music, there are two things you do. You build tension, or you resolve that tension. That moment in between, we call cadence. Only one C. We call cadence. So, in this case, a very simple way to build more tension was taking that melody, which used to be kind of spotted, and now making it a more fluid line, while at the same time EQing it up a little bit more, making some of those higher frequencies more heard, because higher notes, higher frequencies can have more tension. So there you go, we are just building towards another drop, and so far these guys have really managed to make those drops very satisfying. So let's see. And there we go, we did the opposite during the drop itself, going off the ramp. We took that same motif, and instead of highlighting the higher frequencies, the thing that makes it sound higher, we highlighted the lower frequencies, kind of pulling up, like kind of pushing the brake and making us turn around. That was clever. That was clever right there, because we were used to hearing the higher frequencies being highlighted during the transition. And this gives us a very nice twist to this, while still keeping us within the familiar material. This is very welcome. This is very good. Let's see. Ooh. I think, am I hearing this right? And at the top, I think there's one more synth doing a flying melody on top of everything. It's very faint. I don't know if it's just a echo of the main melody, but I think we have one more synth doing, I like to call this a flying melody, another colloquial term, where you have a very busy bass line, drum line, whatever it is, then the middle range, you have it still somewhat busy, and high up above, you have a very simple, slow legato melody, or even sometimes even staccato is just there, but it's just up above, considerably slower than everything else. And it just gives you that sense that you're flying above everything else, just traveling through. All right, Max, welcome today. How you doing? Oh, we're bringing an electric guitar? We're bringing Mick Gordon into the mix, because that's a really low string right down. That's a really low string. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So that synth was there. So I'm not crazy. It's just that synth was drowned out by some of the other things, which is a clever thing to do, because this makes things a lot more subliminal. Because once again, as I've mentioned before, you want to achieve that balance between familiar material and new material. And since this is a very new material, this melody is somewhat new, and it's not familiar, you just put it in the background. It's there. It was there in the previous section, and it just carries over in the new section. That's surprisingly clever. Like this song has a lot of this track. This ain't got no lyrics. It has a surprising amount of cleverness. Icybot, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. Welcome to the day. How you doing? Welcome to the day. Okay, and that guitar was cool. We bring back that. Other synth with the, I forgot to say this earlier, the ostinato. And ostinato is when you have an instrument repeating the same musical line over and over again. There are three different types of this kind of thing. You have the ostinato, you have the pedal note or pedal tone, and you have a drone. Now, the difference between these three: a drone is usually lower notes, usually a chord, and it is held constantly. Like instruments like the hurdy-gurdy has this, the moringhur. Hurdy-gurdy is like a Celtic folk instrument. The moringhur is the Mongolian version of that. Well, not entirely the Mongolian version of that, but it's a Mongolian instrument that has that kind of thing where one note kind of just always stays there. That is a drone. A pedal note or a pedal tone is basically one note that you're holding continuously over a certain amount of time. These two tend to overlap. The pedal note, pedal tone, and drones tend to overlap. And ostinatos, it's in principle the same idea, but ostinato means that you're repeating the same musical phrase. So in this case, this synth that is sounding, it's repeating the note over and over again. Bum 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 bum. So it's not a pedal tone or a pedal note or a drone because it's not holding a single note, but it's holding several. That makes it an ostinato. So the YouTube videos, hell yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. So yeah, we have the ostinato playing with that, which we had earlier in this. I don't think this is a recapitulation, because it's not entirely what we heard earlier, but it does recapitulate some of the elements. Recapitulation is just to play something again. So, let's see. Yeah, because now we have the actual synth with the main motif. Okay, so surprising how we're building towards a climax over here. We're using a lot of material that we used before, but we're barely halfway through the track. There's going to be another drop. Like, usually this amount of revisiting material that you've already used, that would be reserved usually like by minute 330 or something like that. It does give me some of that vibe. I've only played like 1 hour of Disco Elysium, but it still gives me that vibe. It's really cool. Let's see. So once again, we're building tension. How are you going to connect this? Well played. So far, the other drops you've done over here, we have had a continuation of whatever musical line we've been building towards. And right now, we used one of the most powerful tools a musician can possibly have: silence. It was a split second. It was a split second of silence, double-edged sword, but it made that vocal line so much more powerful. Because now that we repeated it twice, we were establishing a pattern of principle of, okay, we're building up to the drop. Okay, before the drop, the music continues, and then we get the drop. The music continues, we get silence, and then we get the drop. But now we flipped it on its head. We didn't bring the music. We didn't continue the music. We stopped it there. We did a vocal line, and then we dropped the beat. Bookshelf, welcome to the day. How you doing? And Captain Davy Jones, I will explain afterwards because the next song is going to be from the offline queue. But yeah, we will explain. Yes. Oh yeah, there you go. You're being held already. There you go. Let's see the drop. Oh, okay. So yeah, we did this backwards. We included the vocal line, so I didn't hear all the way to the drop. So that's on me. We did one last run of that really cool motif, and then we dropped. Smell Debussy. Welcome to the mosh pit. Welcome to today. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? Love the name. And we go back to the first drop. But now with the motif. Ooh, okay, so now we have engaged on motivic development, which, considering that it's been 2 minutes 44 seconds out of a 4-minute track, That's really good. That's really good. And that I haven't gotten bored of the motif. That is pretty good. So motif is, of course, the smallest version of a musical idea. Motivic development is, well, we are taking that seed and we are cultivating that seed and we are reaping what we are sowing. So in this case, what we are doing is we are doing a partial inversion. So the original motif sounds a little bit with this shape going here. So what we're doing for the development, we're going here, 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 and then we're going up instead. We are taking half of the motif, the second half of the motif, and we are inverting it. Meaning, well, we engaged in inversion. We just flipped it upside down. You do need 100 points, Botrix points. You get those by watching the stream, by the way. Every 10 minutes, you should get enough to request one track. So there you go. That's how you flip this. And usually when it came to motivic development, in other tracks we've done, usually the composer would do the entire motif and would flip that upside down. In this case, however, we took the second half of the motif and we turned it up. Clever. There you go. And now we're just running with that, adding a couple of adornments here and there. And now we come to the climax. I told you, like, around the 3-minute mark is when we're gonna have the climax. There you go. That was solid. A solid what's it called? Run. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, the rules are in the description with all the details on how to request songs as well, or the rules about how to request songs. So there you go. We have that's really good climax. We are bringing a lot of material that we used before, and in many ways we are flipping it. Like, there is a lot of inversion going on here, where some of the material used to be on the lower end, now it's on the higher end. And again, when you're making music, you want contrast to a certain extent. What better way to contrast than to invert things? It's very clever. We had that synth kind of sound like an alarm. Nice. We bring back the guitar with that original synth. We bring back the guitar with that original synth that we had at the very, very, very beginning. The one that teased the first motif that we had. This is a really well-made climax. This is a really well-made track. Let's see. That flying melody from before. Yeah, we're bringing everything back. Okay. Interesting way of bringing. I thought he was going to bring things exclamation point how to SR to get the instructions. I'll give you the full ones once we finish this. So let me see here. I forgot to add that bit to the description. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing a recap of the intro as our outro. How are you gonna end this, though? Okay. So we are removing one layer at a time for the outro. One layer at a time. One layer at a time. And yep. This is how you prevent a fade out. He at no point made anything new from that loop that we had at the beginning. Instead, we started taking one layer out at a time. We just let that last layer loop a couple more times and just end it in the first note that the loop plays. And that's it. This is how you avoid a fade out. Because at no point did he introduce any new material, technically speaking, while doing the outro. Really, really, really good. This track in general was really good. True Super Ninja, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome to the day. How you doing? So yeah, no, there you go. There you go. That was Release the Hounds Road Trip EP by FWLR and JELO. That was really, really good. Like, this was really well composed. The sounds were very cleverly placed. The structure of it was very, very clever. And just the way every element played along each other was very clever. Like, a lot of these things were very straightforward in terms of composition. It was just clever. It was just clever. So there you go. There you go. Release the Hounds by FWLR and JELO. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA layman-friendly analysis. If you're watching this on the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. We just got monetized, so consider doing one of them paid subscriptions. Give me money. And I still can't get used to saying it. No obligation. If you want to listen to this track uninterrupted without me pausing every 3 seconds, link will be available down below. If you want to request a song and you're not watching this on the live stream, go to the Discord server, links down below, and go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions on the pinned comments. Requests that do not follow the instructions will not be considered. And if you want to catch the streams live, links available in the description to the Twitch channel and the Discord server, which both of them have a stream schedule tab or channel, respectively, which show the stream starting slots or times in your local time zone so that you don't have to calculate that stuff. And with that, there you go. There you go. Very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Release the Hounds. I was surprised. That was really, really good. Very good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.